So for anyone unfamiliar with Dataddo, this is basically what the application looks like when you log in. There are three main components, which are sources, destinations, and flows. So ideally, you want to start by creating your source, defining the data that you would like to extract. Then you add your destination, and then you create a flow from that source to the destination, because without the flow, no data will actually be moving anywhere. So we can start with a source. By the way, this webinar is gonna be is recorded, so this you'll be able to play this afterwards. So
everyone will get an email.
Yeah. No needs to worry if you don't catch something.
Yeah, and I also made a video including these steps as well.
Perfect. So we're gonna start by creating our first data source. As you can see, we have quite a lot of different connectors available. I think right now it's well over 200, and we have connectors for very like globally popular tools, as well as some, let's say, more regional tools that are maybe popular only in some specific countries. We have, for example, Exact. We have AFAS, which are mainly used in the Netherlands, and some other ones. We are also able to create new connectors quite quickly. But for this video, we want to look at Exact. So I'm going to search for Exact here and click on it. Now that we're in this source configuration, we can choose a data set. So here, we have a bunch of data sets. You can think of a data set as basically a table in Exact Online. So that is, each data set will be a table containing some data. For example, your GL accounts, payables, receivables, and so on. For this purpose, for this demo, I will use projects. So I'm going to choose this project data set, and on the right side we can see all the available attributes. So we can see ID, account, account contact, account name. Ideally, for each one, we try to provide a description so that you understand what the data actually means and you know how to interpret it. Sorry. And so basically, you can still make a choice if this is the data set that you would like to use. Then you click on next, and this is a step where you need to authorize your account. So because Exact is in Dutch, I decided not to show it because things might go wrong if I try to follow it. But basically, I already have our account selected. But if you had to, you would if you didn't have an account already connected, you would click on Add New Account. You would get redirected to Exact to actually authorize the connection. So if you're not already logged in, you would be asked to put in your username and your password, and then you would basically approve Dataddo to extract your Exact Online data. Then the next field is country. So you need to choose from which country we're actually going to list the divisions. For us, it's very simple. We only have one division in the Netherlands, and it's this Dataddo one. So we can go to next. And in this step, we see all the available attributes, and of course we can unselect some of them. For example, let's say you don't want to process some sensitive data, some personally identifiable information, and so on. Dates of birth, email addresses, salaries, and so on. You can basically exclude these from the selection. So, for example, for whatever reason, I can just exclude some data here, and in any step, I can actually test the data. By the way, this is completely mock data. Dataddo doesn't use Exact, but if we did, there would be way more projects than just two. And actually, here I can kind of preview what data I have available. So for example, if I decided, okay, this is not the columns that I want, I can still go back, maybe add some, maybe remove some. So this is, I would say, quite an important step. And then in the last step here, you select your snapshotting. For a lot of sources, you will just be choosing the frequency. For some other sources, you might also need to use date range. But I think for the, let's say, the very basic ones, you will just use your frequency here, where we actually reload all the data. You can choose. I would say the most popular one would be daily. However, for example, when you're choosing when you're using the Dataddo free plan, you can only use the weekly frequency. So on the free trial, you can try everything, but on the free plan, you actually need to choose the weekly frequency. Now that we have the source, we can also, save it. We can, we can rename it, and then we save it. So let's do that now. And now we just need to wait a little bit for the API to provide us with the data. Okay, so I think it's been already provided. So now we can actually see the logs. So as you saw, we only had 2 projects, so there were just 2 rows. You can actually look into that, see what was happening under the hood in the logs. If you also wanted to see exactly what kind of calls we are making, you could click on test extraction. But basically the main part is we have the source, and now we want to connect it to our Power BI. So I can add this source to a flow. So now I have my source. It's the project's demo source from Exact. And I want to connect it to some kind of a, in this case, I want to connect it to Power BI, but also I can choose, a variety of destinations, whether it's data warehouses, lakes, other kinds of storages. So I'll go back to the flow here, and I'm going to select Power BI. And of course, I can name this. So for example, if I wanted to do projects to Power BI, or I could even do like Exact projects to Power BI. And now I save the flow. You see that the flow has been created. And now I get this information on how to set this up in my Power BI instance. So basically, you just follow these steps. You click on get data, fill out this information. It's super simple. And I think Connie also covers it in the video that you're gonna
Yes.
Yes.
Right, and this video will be included in the post-webinar email, so all these resources will be delivered to everybody watching.
And if for whatever reason you actually need to see this information again, because what we're doing, we're basically creating an API connection for Power BI to pull the data from us. You can always click on this button, connection details, that will give you the information. So, if you decide, for example, that you want this data in a different report, you can of course do that. So that's it.